You know, the Father is about parables. He's about object lessons. And today is a day of a beautiful parable.
We knew that God could pick your and wanted to choose your mate.
To encourage young people that there's a better way. There's a better way.
The question has been asked, how could Talitha marry someone without even ever knowing them? But it isn't as cold turkey as it seems.
A wedding that represents what weddings should represent, and that is a picture of our bridegroom coming for us as his bride. We've been talking about it for so long, the game plan.
Well, I was, he called me and I was delighted, you know. It's not like you're deliberately planning this, but you got a whisper in your mind, you know, in your heart. And Braden's calling confirmed that whisper, and it brought it to light, it brought it to the top. And saw too many shipwrecks in the Christian community, you know, in the believing community. And there's something else out there.
And so we've got to be bold enough to say, it didn't work. It did not work. Let's go to someplace else. Let's try something different.
Your father and mother, so you honor their beliefs and you trust it. You know, even if your parents aren't believers or something, that, you know, really we're not in control, and the Father's in control. And so no matter, you know, what the answer is, it's like, we just have to trust that the Father will give the right guidance. And so we were really blessed that she and Braden were so just thrilled to have our, you know, total approval. But
the reality is I don't know of a more holy way. And I'm sure that there's a lot of variations to what we just talked about. We just got one off. I guarantee you, after 10 more, we might even write a little article about it or something.
Well, it began about 6 months ago, and my parents had actually first told me, Braden, what do you think about Tally? And at first I was kind of surprised, but then over the next couple weeks, God confirmed that she was the one. That night, I went to bed and I had a dream about her. And so I woke up the next morning, I was thinking, wow, this is big. It was just a really short dream, but it was enough to communicate to me that Tally was the one. You know, I think with dreams and stuff, it's good like to to weigh them and, not to just say, okay, let's go for it. So then I brought it to my parents and said, I had this dream. And so I think, with revelation like that, it's like it needs to be weighed by different people and just see it. And so, but what happened was that all of a sudden, once Yahweh revealed it to me, then all of a sudden, my parents and Tally's parents, once they found out, they were all in agreement too. So it's like, well, we had a really authority smoothness going on. So.
Through my whole life, I never wanted to be in a relationship unless I knew that, I was supposed to marry that person, So, and as a girl, as anyone, it's, the whole dating world is, you try someone out for a while and then you see how it's going to work out. And then if it doesn't, one of them decides to break it off and the other one's left hanging, and so, so I always knew that I didn't want to put myself in that situation, to be like, oh, I'm going to marry this person, and then they're like, oh, but never mind. And so, and I had been in that situation before, and so, And so I knew it wasn't something that I wanted. So the betrothal thing, the basic idea of it is that the man hears from the father who he's supposed to marry. He gets the approval from his parents, from my parents. Then after that, the woman agrees. And you know, I wanted to pray about it and get confirmation about it. But after that, it's pretty much, it's not like, okay, well, now let's date and now let's see if it's going to work out. It was more of, okay, this is what God has called us to become one. God has called us into marriage.
I called her dad about 2 weeks after I had this dream, and I had thought that her dad might wait to tell her for like a month or two, just to pray about it, think about it. It turns out that he told her that day. So he told her. And so he told her, and she was really excited as soon as she heard. I didn't find out what her response was until a couple days later. But then I found out, and I called up the guys and said, I have some good news!
And you know, going through this whole process of not seeing him and being separated has been just a huge, I call it love sickness. I never experienced it before. It's major though, it's major. And you know, people would ask me, what's it like to be betrothed? It's hard. It's beautiful, it's absolutely beautiful, but it's hard.
Up to the point when Tally and I wrote out our vows for our betrothal ceremony, we were pretty distant. But it was at this time that we really started to feel really strong feelings for one another. We started making some pretty meaningful eye contact, and it was a really special time, this time that we wrote out our vows. What we're writing is the ketubah, which in Hebrew means what is written. And so we're just writing out what we felt like God was putting on our hearts for our marriage, what He wanted for our marriage. And it was a really special time.
You want me to read yours first? You want me to read yours first?
I'll read yours first.
Okay.
Do you want to read this?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like it? They don't come into effect until I say them with my mouth. Beautiful.
And this right here, this is chicken salad. This is
actually chicken salad.
chicken salad. Lily, why did you make so much chicken salad?
Yeah, well, we're having a party.
Get everything ready?
We're trying. It's like last minute thing.
It's 1:52. You have 8 minutes. Are you gonna be ready?
No, I think we're actually doing pretty good. We have like all these kitchen help. Oh man, you should have seen Mama Joe's kitchen this morning. It was incredible. Awesome.
since God revealed that Tally was the one for me, I began to study about betrothal. And what I saw was just a very deep connection with our covenant with God. And I just saw so many parallels with our relationship to Yeshua. The Last Supper seemed to be the betrothal in this picture. It's like he told his disciples, "I will not drink of this cup until I drink it with you in the kingdom of my Father." At the betrothal, I drank a cup, and then I gave it to Tally, and at that moment, the covenant was sealed.
The sound of the trumpet was very loud, so that all the people who were in the camp trembled.
Jesus took bread, blessed and broke it, and gave it to the disciples and said, "Take, eat, this is my body."
Forevermore I will sing with the host of heaven's armies. We all stand.
Buckle up and prepare for the ride. All I can really say is prepare yourself for the ride of a lifetime.
Walk on a highway of holiness.
Abraham trusted God so much that he let his servant pick out his wife.
Our eyes on the brightness of the bridegroom of heaven. Songs born in night seasons.
Delight yourself in Yahweh and let Him give you the desires of your heart. I gladly receive you as my daughter. I am confident that you will far exceed all that Brayden could ask or think, for you are Yahweh's perfect choice for him.
For a future, so we'll walk on.
You have said, "It is not good for man to be alone. I will make it help me for it."
May they never take each other's love for granted, but always experience that breathless wonder that exclaims, "Out of all this world, Yahweh has chosen you for me."
On the night that Yeshua had the Passover with his disciples, he raised up the cup and said, "This is my blood of the new covenant. Drink of this." And when I lifted up the cup and I drank it, that signified that I was committed to this covenant. I was going to stick to it. That was my agreement. And so that I took the cup and handed it to Tally, and when she drank of that cup, she was entering into the same covenant with me. And I feel like Yeshua on that night with his disciples, he raised up that cup and said, "This is my blood," and he's saying, "This is the blood of my covenant. I'm drinking. I'm going to drink of this cup. I'm going to do my part." And then he gave it to them to drink. He said, "Now you do your part."
We have been part of what some people would call a marriage. Talitha is no longer Talitha Lubinachi. She's Talitha Walker. Presentation here to introduce you to Brayden and Talitha Walker.
this whole betrothal period it's been absolutely, I mean, it's been amazing. It's been very interesting. I've just learned so much through it. It's a little bit of a hard place to be in because you go through the betrothal, you get married. I mean, you are pretty much married, except
Did you, like,
for...
sign a marriage contract at the betrothal?
We got legally married.
Really?
The betrothal was actually, the way we did it was an actual ceremony. We did a two-hour ceremony with the betrothal, and we did a lot of stuff that people do at their weddings. You become married, and then you separate. And for Braden and I, we decided to not even see each other. We really felt called that we were really supposed to be a picture of Yeshua and his bride. We talked about everything, and everything that we've done we've really talked about, and Braden's really done a lot more like of the research, and he's had a lot more ideas, and he'll kind of be like, what do you think? What do you think about that? And so when he originally mentioned separating and not seeing each other, I was just a little bit like, I don't know. I'm not sure if that would just build up all this fear in me. And but then I was talking to my one friend about it while I was still thinking about it. I started telling her about the time of separation, and she just started crying, and I just started crying, and I just really felt like that was the Spirit just saying, this is what I've called you to do. It's difficult. It's very difficult to be married to someone and not be able to see them. And both left for our times of preparation. He's been working very, very hard on the house, yes.
So you haven't seen her for 2 months now.
2.5 months.
2.5 months. What did you do during this time to prepare a place for her? What was that situation all about?
Yeah, that was really good because it kept me from being too impatient. I have plenty of work to do.
Okay, can't read that. 24 degrees. It's cold. Very.
I love Tally Waller.
Woo!
This is the building permit, and it's just been legalized. I got the dead inspection on the back. Leave my father and mother. Go please with my wife.
That's right.
I love Tally Waller.
To see, I mean, just the obvious picture is the fact that, you know, we separated. We were in this we decided to become betrothed, and we separated. And now I wait for his coming to return to get me.
Let them know they're going to meet us, and then we're both going to tell her. Okay. All right? We're saying Tally's time, and then she's getting ready.
And I don't know the day or the hour. I mean, these are the obvious things, you know.
It's not a phone call. It's we're going to tell her door. Oh, that's even better.
You know, yeah, and I'm waiting for the trumpet to blow.
We're gonna come following the camera in to tell her. That's
got my dress ironed, no spot or wrinkle.
So if you follow us over, we go tell Tally. Now, after we tell Tally, we got an hour before we run through. We really need to catch because it's gonna get really exciting really quick.
It says, for Zion's sake, I will not hold my peace. For Jerusalem's sake, I will not rest. Until her righteousness goes forth as brightness, and her salvation as a lamp that burns. The Gentiles shall see your righteousness and all the kings you glory. You shall be called by my name, by a new name, which the mouth of Yahweh will name. And you shall also be a crown of glory in the hand of Yahweh, a royal diadem in the hand of your God. For you shall no longer be termed forsaken, nor shall your land any more be termed desolate. But you shall be called Hepzibah in the land of Beulah. For Yahweh delights in you, and shall be married, for as a young man marries a virgin, so shall your sons marry you. So the picture today is a picture of covenant, and a picture of the feast and the place of God's kingdom, and that's a beautiful place, not disconnected. So it's got to be full throttle, full everything we got, everything that, just like the intensity of the bridegroom when he comes. This is the intensity that we got to have today. And so let's get excited.
We're gonna have to be quiet. We're gonna have to not yell. Just go in. All right. I gave that phone number that's written on that piece of paper I just gave you. That is the hotel number, the lodge. Okay. You gotta call that number. Ask them to put you through to the West room. Tell them, listen. You gotta keep this. Don't tell anybody. You gotta promise the secrecy. Go get your stuff together, get in your car, and go to the cabin. Hey, look, there's people down on the beach. Get down. 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 Yeah, put the camera down. Yeah, we're gonna have to go to their cabin and then send one of the girls to the lodge to see if they're there. If not, I bet you they're already there. Okay, we had to figure this out, guys, because we can't yell, we can't just whisper. We just tell her, just like flat out. Tally, time has come. Like that?
No, I mean, it's not good enough. We have to sneak in, and then we're gonna go, Tally, it's time. We can be loud as we want.
We take the trail down.
No matter how we say it, it's gonna be exciting.
If we park out in front of their house, and you're trying to put your shirt on,
we gotta roll out of the car.
Quickly. There's people at the lodge pulling in and out right now.
Sit down, guys. Who's that? He's at Paul.
He's on the phone.
Pull you in. Say it. Say it. That's okay. All right, no harm. Guys, all right.
You ready?
I don't know. What's everybody's here?
From
the back, go to the wall.
Yeah.
So it doesn't always work like perfectly.
Are they not here?
No, Alex not here. That's great. Okay, look. Where's the phone? Right here. What are we gonna do about this? Shh. Okay, we gotta call Angela and see where she's at.
Let one of them. Tell one of them to ask them where Ask them where's she.
Tell your film crew so you can interview her over at the house.
Hello, is this Angela? Angela, this is Sam with the film crew. How are you? Good. We were gonna see if we could catch a few more shots with you guys with Tally. Thanks, Angela. I appreciate it. She totally knows, but there's no way she can't know. So maybe we should all get out of here. Let them come back, and then we'll come in. Go.
Where are we gonna hide out at? Just the golf course. What does the note say?
It says the time has come.
And then she's gonna freak out and she's gonna rush back to the.
Yeah, everybody's gonna know.
She needs to do that.
She's prepared to do it in an hour, because that's what she thinks she's gonna do.
Ready? Well, we just saw the car pull in after a little excitement. So we say, ready for the surprise.
Ready to go?
Ready.
What if you
I've had practice run. What are you gonna say, Josh? Huh? What are you gonna say?
The bridegroom is coming.
Okay, guys. There he goes.
Oh no. Oh no.
Great.
Alright, the whole world knows now.
Great. Let's go.
Ready? Let's go. Go.
At the park. Hey, park at 4:30. Okay.
Somebody stopped me and said, "Have you heard the shofar is blowing?" Yeah, go out.
We just thank you right now for this wonderful sound, the shofar. Father, we just pray that everything just goes smoothly and that everybody hears and that it'll just be such a joyous reunion of Tally and Brady. And Father, just pray that everyone will be able to see it and see the joy and that there would be just strong anointing everywhere throughout this whole celebration.
Hi, Tally. What are you doing? Getting pretty. Where did Victoria go? Do you want me to fix your hair?
Whew, you are a scent.
You are very fragrant.
Yeah.
Because I know I put frankincense on because I only have frankincense.
Just beauty, natural raw beauty. Natural linen, hand sewn, beautiful applique. Gorgeous beauty.
You have a wrinkle.
See, it's smelly before you put it in.
We have to go, so.
All right, we gotta start getting. We gotta start getting ready to go out.
Dad's hair is all just like. Wait. Hang her so you can get a good picture.
Guys, 4:24. 6 minutes until he arrives.
Dad and Tally, look at the camera.
Hey, maybe guys, 6 minutes until he is there.
Okay, so we have to get over there.
I know that. Can you stop standing in stationary? Where are we going?
We're going to go see Brayden.
Close up the finish up window. 4:28. We got 2 minutes. We gotta get over there. Dad, if you can drive a little bit faster.
Tally's not going to marry anybody else.
Everybody, keep it
Everybody is like waiting for you, Tally.
I hope he's not there.
Girls, I want you to be holding my hand. I think they're all singing. Take my hand and they'll take you far. Away from here. You are keeping something close inside. You be the time. Take me home to be your bride.
Here he comes. Where?
fun? Are we ready to go? Yeah. Let's go.
In your bosom, the whole world couldn't tear me away, 'cause nothing can sway this love that's stronger than death and life. It's yours to give, and you have the right to open up the gates and let your beloved come in to your garden, and open up my heart and let us be intimate in your garden.
Hallelujah. You know, today is it's a special day. This day is, at least for me, it's something that I've never seen before. You know, the Father is about parables. He's about object lessons, and today is a day of a beautiful parable. What we've and Braden has tried to do is to make this a wedding that represents what wedding should represent. And that is a picture of our bridegroom coming for us as his bride. You see, today what's different about a wedding is that the covenant has already been made. And so today we're here to celebrate the actual beginning of a life together. You see, Yeshua made covenant with us, and this is what we're going to be talking about today. This is what we're going to be presenting today. He was betrothed to us. When he comes back, it's going to be intense. Just like Braden coming back today, coming and seeing Tally, that's the intensity of Yeshua's return. So today we come together to witness, to make us all understand the parable of the bridegroom and the bride. You see, this is to me, in the strangeness and the peculiarness of what we did, there was a couple of different reactions. And it's even been said in my family, let's don't ever do this again. But I'm going to tell you that we have to learn, we have to understand that if we become offended if we're offended at the difference in this wedding because we didn't know the exact time, then we could very possibly be offended with Yeshua and his coming, and it doesn't fit our schedule. But I'm going to tell you, this is the picture of the bride. This is the picture of the bridegroom. And we cannot be offended. For Yahweh your God is a merciful God. Is a merciful God. And he will not forsake you, nor destroy you, nor forget the covenant of your fathers, which he swore to you. You see, the God who wrote this is a God who keeps his covenant forever. See, God doesn't do away with the covenants that he makes. His promises are forever. It's time we as a people began to understand the covenants.
And I heard, as it were, the voice of a great multitude, as the sound of many waters, and as the sound of mighty thundering, saying, Alleluia, for Yahweh omnipotent reigns. Let us be glad and rejoice and give him glory. For the marriage of the Lamb has come, and his wife has made herself ready. And to her it was granted to be arrayed in fine linen, clean and bright, for the fine linen is the righteous acts of the saints.
I, Braden Waller, as the man created by Elohim to be your husband, make covenant with you today, this day of our wedding.
I, Talitha Waller, give myself to you, Braden Waller, as the woman created by Elohim to complete you and be your helper.
I promise to love and treasure you as the one specially created by Elohim to be my wife.
I will walk in the calling of Yahweh as your mate.
My desire and ideal is to love Yahweh with all my heart, soul, and strength, and to love you as Yeshua loves his bride.
From this day forward, I will love you as my husband and will support you and bless you to pursue Yeshua as your first love.
I desire Yeshua and his covenant with us to be the center of our relationship.
I choose you as the one my soul loves.
Yeshua is your first love. I bless you to pursue him with your whole being.
I promise to remain, I have remained, consecrated to you and lift you up in prayers and to receive guidance as you prepared a place for me.
Following the example of Yeshua who washes his bride with the word, I will wash you with the word.
I will continue to clothe myself in the strength and honor of Yeshua, and I will seek Yahweh in preparations that I may be ready when you return to receive me today.
As my wife, I promise with Yahweh's help to provide nourishment and covering for you.
In marriage, I will trust in the headship that the Messiah provides through you as the priest of our home, by submitting myself to you as my husband.
As an extension of the headship Yeshua provides me, I will give loving headship to you and our children.
I will strive to be a fruitful vine in the heart of our house.
I commit to you that on the day of our wedding, today, authority over my body will be yours.
All that is mine will be yours, and I give you authority over my body in the covenant of marriage.
My commitment to you is unconditional. Circumstances and feelings will invariably change, as do the seasons of the year, but my love for you will be steadfast as the sunrise.
I will honor and respect you and promise to never depart from you.
I have given your father 5 rubies. 5 symbolizes life. I give my life for you. The rubies symbolize that your worth to me is far above rubies. You're priceless.
Where you go, I will go. Where you sleep, I will sleep. Your people will be my people, and your Elohim will be mine.
I give myself to you this day and choose you to be my wife.
Lift up your hands. This is your bride singing hallelujah.
It says here that where the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit is, there is liberty. You see, what they didn't understand then was the liberty of the Scriptures. The Scriptures that we all said, oh, that's that old legalistic stuff. No, there's liberty in that. Liberty. Yeshua and the Old Testament is liberty. Yeshua and the Tanakh is liberty, freedom. Freedom. We've got to come to that. We've got to be a light to understand that God speaks something, it is holy. It's holy. And it doesn't matter if everybody else is doing something different. What God speaks is holy. Yeshua didn't come to do away with that covenant. He didn't come to do away, to negate, to render useless that covenant. What he came to do was to give you liberty in it. Think about that. Liberty. This is the covenant. And today, when that mirror, when that scripture talks about, but with unveiled face, beholding in a mirror the glory of the Lord, are being transformed in the same image from glory to glory, just as the Spirit of the Lord. This glory is the picture that you saw when Braden and Talitha saw each other for the first time. That's the glory. That's not legalism. There is nothing that he would not do for this bride. There is nothing that she would not do for her bridegroom. It's not legalism. It's love. It's love.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Talitha and Braden Waller.
And this promise will endure, for I promise I am yours.
A wedding that represents what wedding should represent, and that is a picture of our bridegroom coming for us as his bride.
It's just huge for people to understand that they have a love covenant with Yeshua. And it's deeper, actually deeper than that of marriage. And as I've experienced this with Tally, it's like the depth of our love for one another, that as it's grown, it's like, wow, that is the kind of love that Yeshua has for me.
We really felt called that we were really supposed to be a picture of Yeshua and his bride.
Yes, you may say, boy, that's the strangest thing I've ever seen. That's the weirdest wedding I've ever been to. But I'm going to tell you, this is the picture. This is a picture of who our Messiah is and the longing he has for us.
To understand what Yeshua has called us to as his bride, the passion, the longing that he's called us for.
His bride, he's called. Today I enter into this covenant.
You know, the Father is about parables. He's about object lessons. And today is a day of a beautiful parable.
Of Yeshua and his bride. Shema Israel.
this union. Has everybody gotten the wine that needs? Everybody got it? To Braden and Tally. L'chaim.
To our first grandchildren.
Sing, 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 and make music with the hands we
Look at this. That's crazy.